Good evening and welcome to today's video, which is inspired by a TED talk which I just listened to regarding our ability to speak our truth and be vulnerable and share our insecurities and issues that we may be facing in life. Now, this inspired me to do this video because it took me back to my younger days where I would hold a lot of my shit in because of fear of being judged or being less than or not living up to the expectation of parents or expectations of peer group or anyone in our social circle, come to that. And it's about allowing ourselves to be not only vulnerable but perfectly imperfect, because many of us are striving for something which doesn't exist. And perfection, on the one hand, is a construct of the mind which is not based in this physical reality, although I think that concept does apply to our core being or our higher self or our soul or whatever label you want to use. So I just remembered that when I used to hold on to all my baggage, shall we say, that it began to eat me up inside, because I think most of us have had that experience of sharing something and being put down or humiliated, or because we, whatever it is, because we feel like it's only us that's going through these issues, especially in today's culture where people only portray the bright side of life and all the wonderful things, all these fake pictures that people put on. I was then going to say fake book because, so much of it is so fake. It's just a little snippet. Somebody could be miserable the whole evening at a party, not feeling it at all, and then as soon as it's time to do somebody suggests a picture for Facebook or something, or some other social media channel, we suddenly look in the picture like we're the happiest person alive, So I think many of us can relate to that. I've certainly been guilty of it in the past, and I've often put on a brave face and, been eating myself up inside with all this bullshit because of fear of speaking out and being judged, as I said. But when I transitioned several years ago, I went through a phase where I just let all my shit out as much as I possibly could, all the baggage that I'd been building up for many years. And I can remember how wonderfully liberating that felt, and I just became almost addicted to getting it out, and just remember feeling relieved and feeling better afterwards, because when you have those people around you that you can trust and share things with, and even if you haven't, to find someone who's impartial, even if it be a professional, it's a very life-changing or powerful thing. because it allows us to let go of all the negative feelings and emotions that have stored up over time. So I would encourage anyone who's feeling shit about themselves, or feeling like they're not enough, or that they can't go on, or whatever it may be, is that you're not alone, because we've all, well, I say all, most of us, I think, at some point in our lives have gone through that phase. And I think there's so much pressure, especially on the younger people of today, and with all the nonsense that's going on in the world. And, especially with this current situation, I think there are more suicides, especially among young men, than ever before. People are feeling lost or trapped, or just hurting inside because of whatever it is, whether it's abuse or skeletons in the closet, or fear of not being able to be yourself. So find someone you trust and let it out, even if you just start small. Just test the water with somebody, and learn to trust again, because even if you've been betrayed in the past, it's you mustn't allow that to be a barrier to sharing your truth and growing from that experience. So in the coming days, I will be putting a post out there to encourage people to reach out and get help, and I shall be offering free coaching sessions to anyone who feels they need a listening ear without judgment, and no expectation of perfection on either side, because there's no guarantees of advice or anything, because sometimes all we need is somebody to listen without that judgment and just have empathy and compassion. But sometimes if it comes from the heart and personal experience, it's often possible to offer some insight, or I'll refrain from using the word advice, because that's not what coaching is about. But having said that, offering suggestions on what people can do to help themselves and empower that person to become okay in their own skin and feeling more confident to share their truth. That's what it's really about. So I'm going to wrap up this video with that offer. So if you hear that through this video, or someone else out there who's hurting and suffering in silence and needs a listening ear, then my offer is extended to them also. So please feel free to pass on this video. So yeah, sending peace and good wishes to all. And until next time,